Hi everyone, welcome back to Aspergers from the Inside. You're here with Paul. I make weekly videos sharing the human side of autism, so make sure you hit subscribe to get the latest content. So today I'm going to share an experience that a lot of especially late diagnosed autistic people can relate to and have experienced. So hopefully you can relate to this video as well, because it's a really important message that I discovered and that I hope others can discover too. My lifetime experience has been characterized by being misunderstood and not being believed when I try to explain myself to others. So one of the fantastic things about discovering autism and the autism community is the message that I'm not crazy. There are so many things in the world that give us an invalidating experience and tell us that we should be one way or we should do a certain thing or think a certain thing. And when that's just not our reality, then it's hard to validate ourselves and to understand that I know that no one else has a sensory issue in this situation. Maybe I'm the only one who thinks it's too cold in here, or I'm the only one who gets affected by the lights, or the only one who can hear that annoying noise in the background that everyone else seems to be able to block out. And when I tell people about it, their reaction is often, "What are you talking about? That's not a thing. How could you possibly be annoyed by that? How can you even notice that?" So it's often an invalidating experience to share how I experience the world with others, because it's so different to what the majority of the neurotypical population experience, that they find it difficult to understand and difficult to believe. And that shows. The response often is, how can that possibly be true? That sounds unbelievable. And I am completely ready to admit a lot of my experiences, a lot of my abilities, a lot of my weaknesses, a lot of my experiences in the world sound unbelievable because they are so far outside the normal degree of experience that the general population feel. So the problem with this, though, is that I am a human being. That's not the problem. The problem is that while I am a human being, I want to be understood. I want to connect with people. I want to be with people who get me and understand me and that I can share myself with and have a real relationship with. And that's incredibly difficult when most of the reaction that I get from most people is this reaction of, that can't possibly be true. So the message that I finally understood when I discovered autism is that I'm not crazy. I'm not making it up. My experiences are valid. This is actually legitimately what is going on for me. And yes, it's very different to a lot of other people around me, but that does not make it any less valid or any less real, and it does not make me crazy or broken or anything else, any other negative connotation, just because the way I experience the world is significantly outside the norm of what others do. So the challenge, though, is that when I have tried to explain myself to others, it can be really frustrating because I do it over and over and over again. And then eventually the temptation is to just give up and to imagine that, well, look, there's not going to be, I'm not going to find anybody who can understand me. And I was actually wondering for a while, how is it that everyone else comes up with the same answer to the same question? And what I realize now is that a lot of that is that people just follow their instincts and they don't even think that there's a secondary option. So it's a little bit like, what's your favorite ice cream flavor? If 99% of people said chocolate and I said vanilla, I'm going to be thinking, how did they all know to say chocolate? Whereas actually, they just did whatever came naturally to them, and I just did whatever came naturally to me. And now suddenly I'm over here and everyone else is doing something different. And I'm like, and now I'm alone and out of the group and trying to figure out what I did wrong. And the answer that autism gives us is, I didn't do anything wrong. I followed my instincts. I did something different because the way my brain is wired, the way my instincts work are different, often in really small ways, to the rest of the population. So I guess a big part of this revelation of autism is realizing that there are lots and lots of other people, right, of the order of 1% of the population who experience a similar level of isolation and difference to me. Now, all autistic people are incredibly different from each other, but what kind of binds us together is this experience that I've been talking about of suddenly finding yourself completely isolated from the group for a reason that you don't quite understand, or everyone else wants to go to the pub and you're the only one who thinks that's a dumb idea because it's really loud and really smelly and the floor is sticky and no one else seems to care and I can't even hear what they're saying and my voice is too low and people can't hear me and I can't hold a conversation, and why would I want to talk about small talk anyway? And if I'm the only one who thinks that and everyone else thinks going to the pub is a great idea, that's really isolating, and it makes it hard to connect with people. So discovering that autism is a thing, discovering that other autistic people are out there is a revelation that confirms I'm not crazy. I do have the capacity to make friends, to have relationships, to find connection, to be understood. And that's why, to this day, my number one piece of advice for people who are just discovering or even just questioning whether you might be on the spectrum or not is to go out and meet other people who are autistic and learn the human side. What does autism actually look like in a real person? And talk to them about their experiences, and you will probably find we've actually got a lot in common. Even though on the surface we seem incredibly different, there's a kind of quality of experience that is really hard to pinpoint that kind of makes us feel at home. Because my theory on this is that I've been looking for a community. I've been looking to belong somewhere. I've been looking to try and find out, well, where is my tribe? I'm born into this tribe, but I don't really seem to fit here. So where do I fit? And when you find other people and another community and other autistic adults who actually understand the things that I've been having no luck trying to explain to other people, and they say, yeah, I get it. And it's as easy as telling them that, I like to have coffee with breakfast, and they say, yep, that makes sense. To be understood and to be accepted and to not have to worry about being a certain thing or doing a certain thing to fit in, that's a huge relief, and it allows people to start asking the question, who am I? Who do I want to be? How can I become the person that I really am, rather than trying to fit into a mold that just doesn't really fit right. So we obviously want to be a part of society, but not at the cost to ourselves of not being true to ourselves at the same time. Anyway, so my message today is that autistic I'm not crazy, which means you're probably not crazy. I don't want to say that with 100% certainty because, anyway, um, I like to be quite precise, and the blanket rule of telling you that you're not crazy has a slight chance of not being correct. Also, there's nothing wrong with being crazy. I really need to stick to the script. Maybe I should start by having a script. Anyway, if you would like to meet other autistic people who are likely to be self-diagnosed or diagnosed later in life, I've actually got an online meetup group attached to the Aspergers from the Inside Facebook page. So if you'd like to join that, we have weekly Zoom meetings online. Sometimes we have meetups in person, and it's completely self-organized and self-run by volunteers. So it's a great way to get in contact with other people who are likely to naturally, easily understand and accept where you're coming from. So that's been a massive positive in my life, discovering the autistic community. And so I hope that you can find a similar degree of acceptance by meeting other autistic adults as well. So I might leave it there, but being autistic is a real thing. My experience is a real thing. Discovering autism changes a lifetime of feeling invalidated by other people's reactions. So it's been a great journey of discovery for me. I hope that if you're considering asking yourself the question if you're on the spectrum, that you can find some answers that adequately fit your situation and help you understand yourself and get the support you need as well. And I should say goodbye because I'm not sure what I'm saying now. Should I edit that bit out? Maybe. Okay, bye.